Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our another episode of Career Insider. My name is Brian Law from Study Hub Student Advisory. How are you guys doing? It's been a 1 month break on the Career Insider series, and I hope you guys miss us to bring you more exciting information about all the latest career informations, right? So this week, what we have in store, okay, is we are going to discuss about a career in corporate finance, okay, whether you are thinking about becoming an investment banker, um, a corporate financier, a professional financial analyst. Okay, this is the series, or rather, this is the show that you must watch until the end. Okay, so the Career Insider is brought to you by Study Hub Student Advisory and JS Study Solutions. All right, so it's 8:30 right now, and I'm very thankful to all of you who are tuning in on a wonderful Thursday night. Let me know who are you in the comment section below. Let me know if you are a student. If you are a student, type you are a student. Okay, type student and send it to us in the comment section. If you are a teacher, just type teacher. Okay. If you are parents, just type parents. Okay. So let us know who are you, and I would really love to interact with you. And today's guest is very interesting because he was a we are friends back in university. Okay, and then he is a CFA holder, and as we all know, CFA Chartered Financial Analyst is rated one of the toughest exams in the world, and we get to speak to him, and he has a vast experience in the world of investment banking and corporate financing. And yeah, this session is very chillax. What you can do is you can ask us questions related to CFA, related to investment banking. And if you are interested to know more about what IPO is, IPO stands for Initial Public Offering, what merger and acquisition is, yeah, let us know, okay, in the comment section. Thank you, Oscar. We have a student here, Oscar. Remember to stay tuned and watch until the end, all right? So if you guys are new here, Career Insider is all about bringing you all kinds of unique careers out there. And it's tailored specifically to students, whether you're in high school or whether you're in college. This is the show for you, where you can ask us basically any questions related to the topic for today. And today we are going to talk about corporate finance and also investment banking. So if you're new here, thank you for joining. And I would like to ask all of you here to help us like the stream. All right, like the stream and also share the stream out to more of your friends. Okay, let them know that there is a awesome show about career happening right now. And if you can't catch us tonight, if you're watching a replay, thank you for watching our replay as well. So for the past 6 episodes, we have covered careers, which includes politics, the media industry. We have covered careers in cybersecurity, covered careers in professional accounting. Even a TV host was speaking with us on our last episode. So if you have not seen all those and you're interested in it, remember to head on to our Facebook page wherever you're watching, and go to our videos gallery. Okay, and you can rewatch the whole live interview. All right, today I really want to get as much things to cover as possible because my friend here, his name is Yip Ka Wing. He is the manager for corporate finance and advisory for Mercury Security, Darren Berhad. Okay, and this, of course, he's also a CFA holder. And if you students out there, you are interested in doing CFA, or you have heard about CFA before, and you wonder what is CFA, why everyone say it's very difficult, you should watch until the end. Okay, without further ado, let's all give a virtual round of applause to a good friend, Yip Ka Wing.
Hi, Brian. Thanks
Hey,
for
Ka
inviting
Wing.
me.
Okay, you're welcome. I mean, it's an honor for us to have you on the Career Insider. And thank you for doing this. And as I can see from your background and the way you're dressing, you're still in office right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know for everyone's benefit, I knew Ka Wing back in when we were in university, in University of Utara, Malaysia, and Ka Wing, if I'm not sure if you remember, you stayed about 2-3 doors away from my room. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and yeah, we spent quite a bit of nights playing Dota 1 together.
Yeah. Am I
And
always a loser?
no. Okay, but maybe you're not that good in gaming, but you're good in something else, which we are going to discuss today, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, coming, you did your bachelor's in finance, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing your name in one of the top student lists in Bachelor of Finance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after that, you went to work. Tell us, where did you get started and why did you choose the studies of finance? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Okay.
So, to I started my career with TS Securities
Okay.
in the field of corporate finance, is in investment banking.
Okay.
So, I love to deal with corporate finance because in finance, there are two key parties. You can either deal with personal finance or corporate finance. For
Okay.
personal finance, is more towards dealing with loan, mortgage, or insurance. While
All right.
for corporate finance, it's more about transactions, corporate transactions, and how do you create values for a company. So I find that very interesting because a good company means it will bring a very good value to the shareholders. So
Okay.
how do we bank on a very good transactions? It requires a lot of analytical skills, and that covers accounting knowledge, your economist knowledge, your people management, your human management skill, your soft skills, and
Yeah.
all those. I find it very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I graduated, I did send a few resumes to a few banks, and yeah, and I got into TS Securities. I was offered a job there, and that's
Okay.
where I progressed.
All right. All right. So, um, uh, before we go further into your career and your experience on the things that you do, I'd just like to ask one thing very quickly is, when you were planning your further studies, you got into studying finance as a degree, right? And were you having corporate finance in your mind? What
Yeah.
what what were
So
you thinking? Was corporate finance always been there? Yeah,
I think it's just somehow it just crossed my mind that yeah, that should be the career for me.
I see.
So it's not something that I have already been pursuing. It's just that it developed through my studies. Because
Oh,
even when we study, right, I think the
mm,
syllabus itself is more towards how do you deal with corporate transactions.
right.
It's more than that. Uh,
Okay. And I'm pretty sure right now you're dealing with um, many digits of numbers and value, which probably yeah, it's something very intriguing for you to see. And yeah, Kawing, you also did CFA after that while you were working, right?
yes.
Yeah. So tell us about the process of CFA. Why did you decide to study CFA?
Okay. So when I was in the investment banking line,
Yeah.
so as I work along the line, so I started to feel that what is the best the syllabus or so-called the professions that I should go into.
Mm,
So for corporate finance, I realized that analytical thinking is very key and important. It goes beyond numbers, it goes beyond accounting. That's what we feel that CFA is actually the most preferred professions if you would like to pursue your career in corporate finance. So for corporate finance, you can either choose CFA or ACCA accounting, because for corporate transactions, you need to deal with accounting numbers, you need to deal with financial statements. So ACCA is also equally important. But because we are dealing with public company where it involves shares, it involves tradable securities, meaning shares, bonds, and also special instruments like call warrants. So these instruments, if you were to go for a roadshow for these instruments, you need to have very good analytical thinking. Then only you can sell these securities to the investors. Investors definitely won't buy it for nothing. They want to see value. What is the return I can get, and what is the risk that I'm subscribing for? So for you to answer all these questions, you need to have a very strong finance skill set. That is where CFA comes in.
I
So
see.
CFA syllabus, how it's being designed is that it will have three levels. The
Okay.
first level is more towards like economy, accounting, finance, statistics. The second level will prepare you to have advanced advanced analytical thinking in terms of how do you calculate values, how do you calculate the risk, how do you recommend, not to say recommend, how do you find values inside the numbers and the facts that is being given. How do you see value from there? And also trading. How do you trade in a way that it can make money?
Wow.
So level 3 will prepare you to become a good asset management. How do you manage the assets according to the investment mandate? Because as an asset manager, you can't simply invest. You have to invest based on the mandate itself, meaning to say that your key objective, the investment objective is stated, so you can only invest based on that. How do you manage your portfolio how do you manage the portfolio of your assets? So this skill set is only CFA can offer you. Not so much, yeah.
Right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us and you've been listening, I know there are a lot of financial jargons thrown in there earlier. I think so earlier on, Calvin also did mention about call warrants, bonds, shares. These are financial instruments or financial products, we call them. Yeah. So if you have any questions, if you come across our interview, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section down below. Okay. So back to you, Calvin. Very quickly, also want to ask, CFA, you have done it 3 levels. How long does it take you?
It took me 4 years because, be frank, I failed my level 3 once, but that doesn't beat me down because it was very near to the passing rate. So, so I have to spend another year, and CFA. One thing very challenging about CFA is that the syllabus keep changing. So every year, even though it's the same level, level 3, but about 20 to 30% of the syllabus they will change in terms of content, so you need to re-study it again.
So they keep it updated?
Yes.
I see. Wow. But you were saying you failed only once, right? Which is your level 3, your final level. I've heard friends, people, telling me they failed definitely more than once. And I have heard that level 2 was really tough before getting to level 3. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because the passing rate is about 40% on average for each paper. So every paper, your survival rate is only 40%.
So if you take 40% times 40% times 40%,
yeah, that will bring you down to the top 10%.
Yeah,
you got it. That's how the math works. So
That's
if you are able to pass CFA, you can sort of consider yourself as pretty top 10 to 20% among the financial professions.
Correct. So we have a question from Suyi. Very quickly, Suyi was asking, is it compulsory to take economics for CFA?
Economics is part of the CFA syllabus, so you have to study economics as well. It's
Thank you
part
for
of the
your question.
syllabus.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, economics is one of the elements, right, within finance.
Yes,
And
just to further to what you have said, even in economics, it's also very relevant to corporate finance because economies changes every day. So you need to know how to structure a very good corporate proposals for the company to take on that is in line with the market trend.
can't agree with that more. And how has CFA helped you in your career? I just want to also know that because there are a lot of investment bankers out there, right? And there are a lot of corporate finance guys out there as well, who structure deals for their clients and who are out there working in banks. How has why is CFA necessary in your opinion?
Thanks. I wouldn't say CFA is necessary. I would
Mhm.
just say that something is very good to have because
Mm,
it makes you um, to be one of the outstanding candidate among your peers. It
okay.
enhances your profile and is
Mm,
a testament that you have the knowledge and the skill set.
right, right. And
And
does it help with your career advancement?
yeah, definitely, because you know how to manage the clients, you know how to secure the deal, you know how to execute the deal. Definitely, it will give you a very good leap in your career advancement.
I think this is what a lot of students also want to know. Do CFA holders get paid more?
Um, it depends. It will give you a very good opportunity to
Mhm.
command, but whether can you take it or not, whether will you be appreciated by that, it depends on your work performance, definitely.
For sure. I mean, you can be a CFA, PhD, MBA, everything together, but if you're not efficient or effective in your work, you don't deliver results.
Or yeah,
Yeah,
or you can't really apply the skill set, you can't demonstrate that you are a very good CFA charter holder, you have the practical knowledge, the analytical thinking,
Mhm.
you can't make it.
That's right. That's right. So it's a package together. CFA doesn't guarantee to get you to the end goal, but it's more like a ticket to
Yep,
kickstart a lot of things, give you more opportunities, and
yep.
also of course give you the opportunity to put a comma CFA behind your name card.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So when I show my name card to the client, they was like, "Whoa, it's a CFA." My boss
Yep.
will be like, "Yeah,
Because I'm not sure about the latest statistics, right? I did a quick Google search on how many CFA holders are there in Malaysia. The latest statistics I found was 2015. There were 570 CFA holders in Malaysia
mm,
only, and because looking at that, they only have one exam a year, so there are five exams so far. I mean, 2015 until 2020, right? And I can see it may have increased, but not a lot, because judging by the per population capita, our neighbor Singapore has 3,000 CFA holders, where they only have 5 million in population. We have 30 million in population. We are about 500 plus, maybe now 600, 700, right? So I think it's still short, but I don't see CFA desperately wanting to increase their membership, because which is why they put their syllabus so tough, right?
yeah." No, I think the reason why Singapore has more CFA is because you don't have to judge how mature is the capital market. Singapore capital market is a lot more advanced, it's a lot more complex and bigger than Malaysia's.
That's
So
right.
because of that, they are more towards international hub, while
Mm,
Malaysia capital market is still quite. They are trying to make it international, but it's still local driven.
yeah,
So therefore, I believe that explains the difference.
right, right, right. So Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, I'm speaking to Gip Kowing. He's a chartered financial analyst from Mercury Securities, Sendirian Berhad. And if you have any questions related to CFA or anything related to career and finance, you can actually drop your question down in the comment section below. Okay, Kowing, let's jump right into your career. You did tell us that you started your career, your first job with TA Securities. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do in TA?
What I do in TA?
Yeah.
Okay, so the organization structure is very flat. So even though I join in as a junior, but that doesn't mean that you cannot portray your ideas. So I was very pleased that I was given the opportunity to manage the transaction on my own. So when I was in TA, I was involved in quite a number of jobs, and you have to assume yourself as the manager, even though you are the associate, the juniors per se.
Right.
So when I was in TA, I was involved in few transactions like mergers and acquisitions, IPO, takeovers, and advisories. So we do everything.
Can for the benefit of the students, can you elaborate what IPO is? And merger and acquisition. Yeah.
IPO stands for initial public offerings. It means that the company, they are ready to market their shares to the public investors. So they will be recognized as a listed company in Bursa Securities, and their shares will be publicly traded in the market. So for you to be a public listed company, you need to have a very good profit track record. You need to show to the market that, yeah, my business is very profitable on a sustainable basis, and the risk is reasonable for you to assume. So that's the transactions that you're doing. So
why do companies want to go public?
It will enhance their profiles, first of all, because it's just same like us. When I am a CFA charter holder, it's easier to deal with others. So some, when they bid for other contracts, they will say that, hey, look, I want to deal only with a public listed company. Then you also have to consider that how easy for you to get a loan. So for a company that when their shares are traded in the market, they could be an opportunity for them to get lower cost of financing, because the bank perceive them being lower risk. And they also can have, most importantly, is to raise money for their growth. So in the future, they can raise money to expand their operations, to have more international skill.
That's right.
Yeah, to improve their market position.
Yeah, because they are selling their own shares. They're selling part of their own company to put themselves on public. So public like us, like me, you, we can buy that company's shares and be one of the very tiny holders, right? So that's the meaning of IPO. It's the process of going public for the first time. Yeah. And Kowing, how about mergers and acquisition? It's a big word.
Mergers and acquisition, like the word says, mergers means you are trying to combine two companies. While mergers, while acquisition also the same thing. You are combining two companies. It can also be you are selling a company out to another company.
Right.
So to transact a mergers and acquisitions, you need to make sure that whether both parties are agreeable to the valuations, because you can't be simply selling a company without a value in mind. And you have to convince both parties, both the seller and the buyer, that this is the value that you should be transacting. So how do you convince both parties that to agree to the value? That is another skill set as a corporate finance advisor.
Wow. So basically it's getting married, merger, right? Or two companies or divorce, or buying another company into the holding company. I can give some simple examples that maybe most of you have known. For example, in the US, Instagram was acquired by Facebook, right? It's an acquisition. And then there's also Marvel that produces the Avengers movies was acquired by Disney as an acquisition. So yeah, these are examples of merger and acquisition, and this is what Carving deal on a daily basis, right? Very quickly, let's jump into questions. We have a question from a private message question. So this student was asking, if I choose finance as my major, apart from investment bank, where are the place or industry that I can practice my knowledge in finance? Yeah, Kavi.
The career for finance is very wide. In
Mm.
addition to investment banking, you can also take on the role as a treasury, corporate financial planning,
Mhm.
chief financial officer for
Right.
all the companies.
Mm. So it don't necessarily have to be in a bank, right? But any
Now,
businesses has a finance division, correct?
correct.
Yeah.
Or you can also explore as a private equity industry. That's another
Can you
industry you can look
elaborate more on
into.
private equity?
For investment banking, we are dealing with publicly traded shares,
Yeah.
while for private equity, it's more towards unlisted securities, meaning to say that the deal will be brokered between uh, be, on a negotiated basis
Right.
instead of like trading through the standardized exchange.
That's right. So these companies are not public companies. They are just probably big Sundaram Bahats, right? That
Yeah,
yeah. So that's private equity, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're using jargon, but we're trying to break it down to for all of you to understand. Okay, let's look into another question. Is this difficult to study finance, or is it fun to study finance from a student? Starts from PM. Yeah, I mean, I got a feeling Calvin is going to say, "No, lah, it's super fun."
yeah, that's my answer. It's super
Can
fun
you tell me why is it fun for you?
because it gives because you need to have a variety of skill sets. You don't really look into one particular sections. You need to know how to articulate a value from
Hmm.
facts and numbers. So it takes a bit of your you need to imagine, you need to think. So it's not very something very procedurous thing.
Okay, okay. So it can be concluded as finance is kind of challenging, but you like it because of the challenge, and also it's a bit mind-boggling.
Yeah,
Am I right? Okay, but I believe when you are studying finance, you get to learn a lot about how a company works, because all companies, all businesses in the world, in Malaysia, is making money, right? It's making money or they are losing money. It's just these two things is going to happen. And one must-have department in all companies is the finance department, correct? And yeah, and the finance as a study is a good opportunity for you to learn about so many types of different business, which I'm looking forward to talk to Kawing on what he has learned and what he has saw throughout his career in finance. But I have to cover one more question from a student. Her name is Suyi. It's Suyi again. Thank you for your question. Suyi was asking, is there a shortage of chartered finance? I mean, I think you mean CFA holders or financial analysts, yeah, in Malaysia. Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't say there's a shortage, but I would rather say that there's a growing demand for very for a very competent financial professional.
Right. There's growing demand. I think it's one of the main thing is we are a developing country, right? Yeah, and a lot of things are still growing. We are still not mature to a standard yet. So hence, as we grow slightly bigger in size, that we will need more professions coming in. Yeah. So yeah, I think it helps answer your question, Sui. So yeah, let's quickly go back to yeah, your career experience, right? So you were mentioning you did uh, an IPO, right? In TA, and I believe did multiple IPOs throughout your career. Can you share with us your first IPO? What was your experience like doing your first IPO?
Doing my first IPO, it was super challenging because it's my first time handling an initial public offering. I don't even know what to do. So then, but that was my interview questions. My boss was like asking me, so can you tell me what is IPO?
Mm.
So I have to imagine first, telling her what it is. So when it comes to practice, like, oh, it's really like that.
Okay.
So for to complete to execute a IPO, so first of course we need to go for a marketing. So you need to go and look for the client to tell them that, hey, I believe I based on my analysis, I think you're very bankable. Your business activities is very interesting. I believe there is a very good market demand for your shares. So we have to do a lot of analysis. We need to do a little bit of roadshow to sense check whether is there a demand for the shares. Because
Right.
no point if we do an IPO for a company that is undersubscribed, meaning to say that the interest is not there.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that the IPO is good. So once we have done all the studies, we look into the industry, whether the industry is growing, whether the company is in healthy financial strength, and
Mhm.
whether is there a future opportunity for them or not. And also the money raised, would it when they invest into the new business, when they use the money, does it really further grow the company? So these are the things that we would evaluate. So my first IPO was a technology company. So what
Mhm.
they do is that you see my phone. So what they do is that is you see if my phone I bring it closer, there is something called um, the sensor.
It's
So
the
what they
sense.
do is what they do is that they would test the sensor to make sure that it's very accurate. They also test the components in the phone. So then the first question we would feel is that okay, is is semiconductor good industry? Is
Mhm.
it something very bankable? So we have to do a lot of research and analysis. Once we are satisfied with it, we will then tell the client, yeah, this is the opportunity for you to grow. So then we will call upon a lot of advisors. We will call the lawyers. We will have the reporting accountants to come in together to execute the transactions.
Wow.
Then we will submit something called prospectus. If you have not seen, it's something like this is a big document detailing the investment objective, the company strength, their opportunity,
Wow.
their key, their key their competitors, how do they compete in the market. With all those informations, then we will submit the document to the regulators for approval first. So
Mm.
once the regulator has approved the IPO, we will then go to a roadshow to seek for cornerstone investors.
What is a
So
roadshow?
roadshow means you are trying to market the shares to
Mm.
selected investors. Typically, they are cornerstone investors. They can be
Mm.
big asset management company.
Mm.
So when you go after the roadshow, you must portray to tell them that yeah, see, this is my analysis. I think the company is worth investing. Would
Mm.
you be part of it? Yeah,
Wow. Wow. And I believe roadshows are meetings after meetings with investors, right?
yeah. And there are thousands of questions being thrown to you. How so you have to be answerable to all the investment questions.
Wow. And and you as a finance guy, a corporate finance guy, you have to do all of the mentioned earlier, all of the
Yeah,
analysis. You have to
yeah, you
understand
have
the company in and out. You have to, find out is there an appetite in the market to for people to buy these shares. What is the risk and reward? And then you need to find people to buy these shares, which are the cornerstone investors.
correct.
Wow. And
So you need
yeah, go on.
So you need to be a very well-rounded analyst. You need to know accounting knowledge. You need to have economics knowledge. You need to have good financial knowledge. Then only you can answer the questions from thousands of investors.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are not trying to scare you, but this is the real world. right? As a financial analyst, you are not just going to be good in numbers. You have to good in a lot of other things. Your economics has to be good. Um, your people relationship has to be good. Your feel for the market has to be good, and so many things. So it leads to the next question. As a corporate finance guy, you do so many things. Is your work hour extremely long?
Yes, our work hours is long, but we do enjoy it because it's a new learning opportunity.
Look at me, Kawing. Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm still in
okay.
the office.
Well, yeah, I'm still in the office, guys. Can you briefly describe to us what is long?
When we have if let's say during peak hours, let's say you're managing two, three, four transactions in one go, you
Mm,
can easily expect your working hours to be like 10, 12 hours a day or even
more?
16
16?
more. Yeah.
Mm,
But that
wow.
is only for a very short period of time, maybe just for about a week. After that, of course, you have the flexibility to enjoy your work, so-called work-life balance.
Mm, mm. Okay. So it's on project basis. If you have a lot of transaction, if there's a lot of IPO or there's a lot of merger happening in the market, and you are responsible of it, then you generally have to work longer hours, lah, right? Because just based on your explanation of an IPO, you have to do so many things for one company, and I can't imagine if there are two IPOs happening at the same time. So have you experienced like having two IPOs happening at the same time?
No, because I believe because we want to make sure that because my IPO is a very big transactions. So
Yeah.
what we usually do is that we rather invest a team
Mm,
specifically for an IPO and then do not disturb them, let them do their work perfectly. Uh, it will be even more efficient.
right. Wow. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to Kawing, and if you have any questions related to studying CFA, career in finance, corporate finance, investment banking, you can ask your question down in the comment section below. Okay. Yeah, immediately I have a question. And this question is, in Hong Kong drama, we often watch during IPO, a financial analyst usually get a lot of lunch treat from the company. Does that happen in real life? If so, how should you deal with it? Lunch treat. What's a lunch treat?
We do have a lot of outings with our clients
Okay.
because it's important to build relationship with them.
Okay.
So lunch trip, yeah, we do
Mm.
go out lunch with clients,
I,
dinner, drinking sessions.
mm. The networking session, you mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, I think in any industry it's the same. It's a lot about know who you know, right? And if you are just starting, just getting started, it's also important to have a good network. You know your clients, know who you work with, know your competitors as well. Hence, I think within the bankers circle, yeah, the corporate finance guys circle, you have a lot of your own networking session going on. Yeah, and going right after TA, I think you went to Affin Huang, and then you right now you are in Mercury, right? Mercury Securities. Mercury Securities has ranked by Bloomberg as one of the most. No, it's not one of the most. It's the most. Um, how do I say? Merger and acquisition companies deals in
Yeah.
Malaysia. How do you put it properly? I think I'm getting it wrong.
By deal counts, meaning to say that how
Mm,
many transactions have we completed for mergers and acquisition, we
right.
are ranked, the company itself is ranked the top. So
Okay.
meaning by deal counts.
By deal counts. And can you tell us a little bit about your work as a corporate finance guy in merger and acquisition? Yeah.
My work as a in mergers and acquisitions. So it's no difference than in IPO.
Right.
You need to meet the clients, you
Mhm.
need to study the target company, you need to study the acquiring company, you need to study the rationale behind the transactions, and then you need to prepare the necessary documents to get your shareholders and the board of directors approval,
Mm.
and also the regulatory, and also to obtain the necessary regulator approval.
Right. And okay, I'm pretty sure you have done quite a number of merger and acquisition deals so far.
Hmm.
Uh, which is the most memorable one?
The most
If I may
memorable,
ask, yeah.
sorry,
If I may ask, which is the most memorable one?
the
I mean,
most mem
if you know you have trouble naming the company, don't worry. I don't want to get you into trouble.
yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
So I believe one of the most interesting job that I have ever done is
Mm,
actually helping my client
mm,
to acquire a garbage collector in Malaysia. So
mm,
we don't call it a garbage collection, so we call it as a waste management company. So
mhm,
this waste management company is a transaction between two companies, uh, two PLC, meaning two public listed company. One
mhm,
is selling to another.
mm.
So my role is to evaluate the value of this waste management company. And
Right.
bear in mind, they are the waste management company in Malaysia. There are only four, so I'm one of it, and the transaction value is very high. It's about 1 billion. So every day when I open my household, it's like, wow, okay, I saw the company, and I'm actually one of the advisor to the company. So that is what makes me interesting. And also my analysis was also published. Not to say published, the journalist actually would report my opinion whether the deal is something, is it a fair deal? Is it a
Mm,
reasonable deal? Should
mhm.
the shareholders vote in favor of the transactions? So the journalist will put down in the edge and then will publish out. And actually, this is sort of to inform the shareholders that, okay, our opinion and what they should be doing when they go to the meeting to vote for it.
Right. Wow. I think I know which company because you know your garbage car comes and then there's this big word on the garbage car. Ladies and
Hmm.
gentlemen, if you know which company is it, maybe you can write it in the comment section. Let us know. Yeah, write out the name of the company that Kawing was mentioning, a waste management company that was worth over 1 billion ringgit, and yeah, Kawing has an experience in um, advising them into a merger and acquisition. And I feel your job is a lot like a matchmaker. Can I say it's a
Yeah.
matchmaker, right?
The more proper word I would say is you are doing deal matching. You
Deal
are
matching,
trying you are trying to link between the buyer and the seller for a
right?
transaction.
Right. It's just that you are not buying or selling sneakers, or you're not buying or selling house. You're buying
Yeah.
and selling companies, right?
Yes.
And you get paid well doing it, isn't it?
It has to commensurate with your experience and your skill set.
Right. If not, how to have work-life balance, right? For the
Yeah.
long hours. Okay. I just want to very quickly also touch on a few things. So when I'm a finance graduate from a university in Malaysia, right, and then um, I look for jobs in investment banks, and normally, how much do you think investment bank pay nowadays for a fresh grad?
Typically, the range would be between 3 to 4 thousand. That's what I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 to 4 thousand ringgit. It depends on your skill, but
Yep.
as a fresh grad, you don't really have skills, right? Oh, or maybe you're just okay. You have skills, but you don't really have experience. It's probably boils down to how well you handle the interview, how well you demonstrate yourself, and and everything. Yeah.
So for your, I would like to explain further. So
Mm,
when we interview
right.
candidates, of course we give them scenarios. So we
Mm,
will want to test them how do they it can be a right or wrong answer, or it can be, something that is very imaginative. But we just want to see how they actually solve problems
right.
with their own thinking.
Okay. Okay.
So you don't need to have a practical experience, but you need to know, at least you know how to think, how to articulate a idea.
Can you give us a sample of the questions that investment banks ask their uh, new hires?
Questions. Usually, we will ask them. Uh,
Did I just put you on the spot? Yeah.
Usually we will just the first question we usually ask is what is new in the market. So that the first question is what is new in the market. That means that question would makes you will give us the first feeling whether are you knowledgeable, are
Mm,
you are you interested in the financial market or not? Because
right.
typically for those candidates who are very keen to pursue a CF a career in CF, they would
Mm,
know a lot of corporate transactions in the market.
right.
So then the second question we would then follow up would be, okay, so which company do you like out of all the companies that um, that is under your radar? So they would name one, then we'll ask them, okay, how do you find the company? Any weakness? How do you turn them around? And of course, these are what we do because sometimes the client will just come and say, hey, I got this problem. So you're
Mm,
like, yeah, you got this problem. This is my solution.
right. Right. People come to you because they have a finance problem, whether they have too much money, too little money. Yeah.
Well,
So
some they have too much money. They ask us, oh, how should I spend it? So we say, yeah, you can actually look into this
yeah.
company if you're interested. Then we will then that is how also we originate a M&A transaction as well.
Wow. Company has too much money. What should I do? And then Calvin will say, "You want to buy a couple of companies?" That's the dream, right? I mean, this is so movie like to me right now.
Yeah,
Um,
you can. We would then typically would advise them either you acquire company to
right,
enhance your growth. If you
right.
really don't have, you can consider to distribute it as dividends.
Dividends, yeah. Hmm. So dividends are mainly a company makes money, and then they give out dividends like a bonus, like a return to their investors. So if
Yes.
you hold a company share, then you get dividends.
Yep.
This for the benefit of students who have probably have no ideas. So going back to uh, Korean finance, right? What is the most important trait you think a student should have, to be successful in the Korean finance?
I
Yeah,
would think that you must have a very good personality. That's the first thing because in corporate finance, we are also managing people. So soft skill and personality is very important. That would be about 20%. And for
okay,
your information, even for KPI, personality, and also, your soft skills is about 20 to 30% of your KPI.
right,
So apart from that, of course, is your technical skills. You need to have good finance skill set, analytical thinking, accounting knowledge, your economics knowledge, your statistic knowledge. So the technical knowledge, the experience, your thinking skills, personality. These are
right.
the these are the qualities that we are looking for.
I see, I see. I thought the first thing you would say is, oh, you must have an analytical mind. But your first thing that you said is to have a good personality, which
Yeah,
is interesting. Yeah,
because we don't work in isolation, we work as a team. So as a team members, you need to know how to complement each other.
That's right. That's right. And of course, a good personality means you get to get along with people well, and by getting along with people well, means you have a higher chance of getting a deal in. That's also important, right? Wow,
Yeah.
we have so many questions from PM. You guys should just comment straight in the comment section. Okay, we have a question from a student, and he says, "My maths is not very strong. Should I study finance? Is it a lot related to maths or more to other theories?" What is
Is
your
I would say it's a mixture. Maths is not the key focus in finance because we are not like actuarial science, correct me if I'm wrong, and
Yep.
we don't do we are not doing statistics per se. So maths is important, but you just need to be sensitive to numbers.
Right?
That's what I would say.
Because I feel because you're not doing statistics, you're not calculating probabilities, right? You're not like actuaries where you calculate risk, and then from there, your risk is this big, and it comes out to a final number where, okay, how much we should charge as premium. I don't think that's your area, right? I believe you have actuaries to help you cover those areas, and you compile all the numbers together.
Correct.
Yes. And of course, you need to know how to read a financial report for sure. Even though financial report has a lot of numbers, but it's all plus minus. In general, you can handle it with your calculator. So yeah, maths is not the utmost important, but you need to be sensitive in numbers. Quoted by Carwin. Yes, awesome. I have another question from PM as well. I'm a science stream student. Is it hard to cope with accounting in A levels? If I don't take economics in A levels, can I still take CFA?
Okay. I believe whether is it hard to cope with accounting in A levels, that depends on whether do you like accounting in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't really comment on that because it depends on how much efforts you're willing to put into the accounting studies.
Right. Yeah.
So if I don't take economics in A level, can I still take CFA? Yeah, because for you to take CFA, you only need to have a degree. So whether you take economics or not, that doesn't matter. But bear in mind that if you have no economics knowledge, it will make you very difficult to pass the CFA exams because economics, like I said, economics is part of the syllabus of CFA.
Yeah. So yeah, CFA. Because if you don't take economics in A levels, there's still a degree, right? Are you doing a business degree or are you doing a finance degree? Because CFA requirement is you need to be 2 degrees, sort of like it's a professional certification. You can't do it after A levels, for your information. And yeah, I find upon consulting a lot of students, don't like accounts because they don't understand what is accounting for. They just feel numbers left, right. They feel, wow, okay, what is a balance sheet? They just feel the obligation of, okay, I need to balance this. They don't see the logic behind it. Hence, people don't like it, right? And people like Carwing, they saw the big picture. They understand how accounts work and how accounts and finance work hand in hand together. Which is why it is different when you're talking about the subject of accounting, right? And I think this is also one of the weakness in education system where it doesn't give you a lot of application when you were studying accounts, right? I remember back in school we do accounts just for the sake of doing accounts. I don't even know what's a ledger for. I don't even know what's a balance sheet for. What is a cash flow note for? I have no idea, but it's just die hard memorizing. Yeah. Okay, we are coming towards the end of the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any more questions, take this opportunity. Please do not just PM us, go ahead and ask us in the comment. Okay, don't be shy. Ask away as many questions as you can. We are here to help you answer those questions, right? And yeah, Gawing, do you think one day, because the world is changing so rapidly, right, and technology is also advancing at a at a rate where we have never imagined before. There are self-driving cars now, and it is replacing jobs of a lot of factory workers, a lot of lorry drivers, truck drivers in the United States. They're losing their jobs. Do you think finance is a job that can be replaced by technology?
Okay, I
Mm,
wouldn't think it will be replaced, but I would rather think that it will just complement
mhm,
because our works is still like you need to have very good analytical thinking
mm,
from various subjects backgrounds that is changing every day.
mm,
So you can't really rely on a AI to give you to execute a transaction to execute a
mhm.
corporate finance transactions.
Right.
That's what I would say.
You can use AI to execute trades, right? Like share trades.
Correct, but that is trade. So whether trade does it really covers those analytical areas? That is something that is
Mm,
not what we are seeing right now.
correct. Because in corporate finance, I think it involves um, it's a lot bigger, and then it also involves emotions. You can't just like use the AI. Okay, buy this recommendation, and it doesn't synergize with your company, and then maybe it doesn't make sense in some ways. It only make financial sense, and at the end of the day, a merger and acquisition is not only making financial sense, right? It is also a lot about what other senses does it make? How does it complement each other? What kind of skills is this company acquiring apart from just money? Yeah. So yeah, interesting. I also want to ask you. This is a question that I should have asked just now, but I didn't manage to ask. Right? Is um, you mentioned corporate finance or investment banks get paid well, right? And I think when you were mentioning fresh graduate, 3 to 4 thousand, I think it's considered an above average salary range for a fresh graduate. Yeah. Um, how long does it take for a fresh graduate, okay, to get to a five-figure salary? How many years?
Okay. To get because our work is very project based,
Mm-hmm.
so we usually being rewarded mostly through the bonus. So if you are
Right.
talking about 5 digits, whether it covers bonus, that is another thing I wish to clarify from you.
Okay. Okay. Let's say lah, huh? Let's say it covers bonus.
So
Mm.
if it covers bonus, I think about from my experience about four four
four
years
years.
later,
4
it will
years.
be definitely there.
Okay. That which includes your all your bonus add up together. You are looking at a 5 digit per month. Okay. Wow. Hmm, that's pretty soon. Okay. How about not including bonus? Bonus is just extra.
If
It's just
it's
paying
not
for your skills.
including bonus, then I would say about you need to have 6 years and above, six
6 years. Wow.
6 or 7.
Hmm. And it also depends on your skills, right?
Your
And
experience.
your experience. Um, are you hardworking? Are you working smart? All those.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Wow, 6, 7 years, five-figure. No wonder people wants to work for banks.
You wanna join?
I think it's a little too late for me. I didn't study finance, and I'm a little sad. So And I also want to bring up one discussion point with you, right? I think a lot of students are interested about business, right? About studying business, and and at the end of the day, if you study a business degree, it is great. It has finance, it has economics elements as well. But based on my experience, we're not covering that much of finance and economics. Do you think a um, business student can work in an investment bank?
Yeah, definitely. Because
Mhm.
for corporate transactions, it also goes down to the business sense behind the
Right,
transactions.
right, right,
So I believe it's also equally suitable. You don't need to be a finance expert to be in corporate finance field.
right. But does it give you an advantage for studying finance?
Um, it I would think equally lah.
Wow, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Okay. But of course, finance skills is a skill to have. I feel if you just look into business studies alone, there will be a lot of how to say it will be just a lot of theory based. But I feel finance skills or accounting skills, professional accountants, and I respect them because it's a practical skill to have. And at the end of the day, this is businesses can fail, but these are practical skills that you can have to help solve business problems. I find a lot of business students, business graduates today, they have a head full of ideas, but maybe it's just too theoretical. Yeah. What do you think about that, Kawing?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Interesting. Um, we have a question from Yikming. Chin Yikming. How's the digital bank disrupting traditional investment bank? What do you think fintech or digital bank will replace traditional banks in the future?
Fintech definitely it will give a boost to how we work in investment banking. It will
Right.
definitely improve the efficiency of the market. While for digital banking, whether will it replace traditional bank in the future or not, this depends on the maturity of the capital market um, in the future. Something that is quite hard to really foresee because digital banking is still something very new in Malaysia lah.
Okay.
So its impact for now not very significant per se lah.
Hmm. But as time comes, as we become more mature,
You will then have to adopt the technology in place.
right, and then there will be jobs being replaced.
Jobs being replaced, probably.
Interesting. Okay, Yigmin, we hope it answers your question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and staying with us for the full 1 hour session. I was speaking with Yip Ka Wing. He is the manager for corporate finance and advisory for Mercury Securities Sendirian Berhad. He's also a CFA holder and also he's one of my university friends. Thank you so much, Ka Wing, for joining us.
Hey, thanks for inviting us out.
Before we go, Gawing, do you have any final words of advice for students who are interested to do CFA or pursue in a career of corporate finance just like you?
Okay,
Mm.
so if you are, you need to have very strong determination and the willpower to to complete the CFA because it's really a tough syllabus. So if let's say very unfortunately you fail the exams, don't worry, you can always try again. And if you do not want and I I pass it through self study, so it's okay if you don't go for tuition, but you have to allocate time properly, do a lot of practice. I'm sure some websites they have some free materials for you. You
Mm.
just have to Google. I try not to mention that, but it's available in the market. You can download all the past year questions. You can also download for free some of the Q&A, the questions from other service providers. Practice from there, keep on practicing, and you will be able to pass the exams. So if you would like to pursue a career in corporate finance, you need to equip yourself with a lot of, you need to have the good personality, you need to have the accounting knowledge, the finance knowledge, and the economics knowledge. You need to be sensitive to what is happening in the market. You need to know how to articulate ideas.
Right. Okay. Very last minute, there was a question from a student. You don't mind, Kawing, taking one last question?
Sure.
All right. So the question from Suyi. Suyi was asking, what's the difference between CFA and ACCA?
Okay, for ACCA is more suitable for accounting. So it is more suitable if you are looking for a career in audit. But if you are looking for a career in corporate finance or investment banking specifically, CFA is actually the preferred because it prepares you with the analytical thinking again, asset management, and also for trading of shares, deal structure. That is where CFA can offer you.
Thank you so much, Kawing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. And I hope all of you have a wonderful time and you have learned something about Kawing here today. My name is Brian Law. And if you missed out the earlier version, you can always watch the replay in our video gallery. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kawing, for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.